Welcome to the Fermented Homestead. If you're new here, my name is Anna, and on this channel I'm sharing our journey of learning how to turn our home into a homestead. Today I am finally addressing the issue of my crazy chicken lady habit, chicken collection habit, I guess. I am a crazy chicken lady and I have a chicken collecting habit apparently. And so I need to build them a bigger brooder. I have a lot of chickens, and so I want to make sure that they have enough room and everything while they are actually inside. So I already have one brooder. I will link to the video here where I actually did that one. I also have two of the big metal, like the 2x2x4 barrels that they sell them in at like Tractor Supply and all that sort of thing. I have two of those, and then I also have a smaller plastic bin. The plastic bin doesn't really work for much of anything. It's kind of just a holding cell for the most part. But I'm going to build a big one. I was kind of inspired by Maya over at Roots and Refuge. And this is sort of like, well, it's not really. I mean, it's 8x4 and it's a box and it's 2 feet tall. But other than that, it's pretty much my own design. Basically what I'm going to do is I have a bunch of leftover. It's not really plywood. Let me show you what it is. It's this stuff. It's not very sturdy. And it's really, really thin. I don't know what you call this. It's like the backing on like furniture and stuff, kind of. But it's there. So, I went ahead and ripped this in half. So that's basically how tall it's going to be. It's going to be 2 feet tall, and it's going to be 4 feet wide, 4 feet wide and 8 feet long. And hopefully that will be enough to actually hold all these little guys in it, or girls, hopefully, most of them. And until we're ready to actually put them outside in the chicken run that I have not yet built. So, let's do this. All right. So, I ripped two of the 2x4s in half. And so now, we're going to make a frame so that the flimsy, free plywood will sit on it. Okay, so now that I have the 2x4s all lined up, all I'm going to do is just sink a bunch of screws along the 2x2s through this wood. And then I'll show you what I'm going to do next. Okay, so now I went ahead and I had a couple of the 2 foot 2x4s, and I ripped those in half, and now I'm just basically going to make some corner joists because I don't have any kind of what do you call them? Brackets or anything like that, so I'm going to connect it with the 2x4. You'll see what I'm talking about. Got all the walls constructed, and so now we're just going to slap these things together. And one thing that I learned from making the other brooder is that having the ledges, you want to do them on the outside because they're really going to have to try and work around the inside of the brooder. By work around, I mean like one less thing they can poop on. case you haven't had chickens yet, they poop a lot. A lot. Now what I'm just lining everything up. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but I'll just real quick. So you can see, I got the horizontal one here, the vertical one right here, and that's what I'm just using to join the two pieces together. And I'm just kind of doing one on the top, and I'm going to do all the four corners, and then I'm going to go through just to make sure that it's lined up correctly, and then I'll go through and do the rest of the screws. This is big. That makes me happy. Eight feet by 4 feet is so much bigger than you think it is. It is 11 o'clock. So I'm going to go and I'm going to go inside. I'm going to go to sleep. And then I'm going to come back tomorrow and we're going to wrap this thing up. It shouldn't take too long. I think this whole process so far has taken maybe 45 minutes. Maybe an hour. But at any rate, we'll see tomorrow. Now that it is tomorrow, we're going to go ahead and finish up. And I did have one really good idea that I'm going to do. I still have the other half of one of these sheets, and they're cut to the perfect length. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some kind of a brace in the center and just make it so that I can cut this in half. Because I do have 20 meat birds in there right now, and I'm going to be getting 20 more or so. I think it's actually more than that. I think it's like 40. But I'm going to be getting 40, like 20 Red Rangers and 20 Freedom Rangers. Something like that. Anyways, so they're not going to be the same size and I can't put them together. So basically I'm going to go ahead and just basically divide this thing in half, and that will also help to be able to make a more reasonably sized screen to put on top. So what we're going to do now is I have this black plastic. Okay, so we'll get the plastic down. Let me go get some cardboard and we'll lay that down as well. So now that I have my board all cut, it's a little wonky, but okay. So what I'm going to do is I marked halfway down each side, the 4-foot mark. On both sides. There we go. And so basically what I'm going to do is I have a bunch of these 2x2s, and I'm basically just going to make like a channel here that'll hold it, and I just, whenever I want it in, I'll put it in there. Like I'm basically just going to slide it, and kind of slide this in and out, but the boards are going to stay put. Hopefully this will work. I think it will. I mean, it seems like a pretty decent idea. We'll see how it goes. Alright, so now that we have the separator in here, let's make sure it fits. There we go. So now that we have the separator bar in there, anytime I want to, if I have a big batch, I can do one big brooder, or if I have, a couple of smaller batches, I can do 2. Really, I could even do another one and have 4 separate brooders, or like 1 big one and 2 smaller ones. The possibilities are kind of endless. This is actually kind of a neat idea. I like it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay down cardboard over the whole thing, because I want to make sure that I'm ready for the next batch of birds that come. I don't want to have to deal with it later on. So I'm just going to do all of it right now. And also, if you notice on the bottom here, I don't know if you can see, but I went ahead and leveled these even with the top instead of with the bottom. So that way I can fit stuff underneath it. I can fit the cardboard underneath it, or, you know, anything it wouldn't be obstructing. And then also I could use this as a bit of like a landing pad for the screen frame that I'm going to be making later on. I'm not going to deal with it right now. But, so yeah. Cardboard time. Cardboard's in. Voila. Pull this. So I'm pulling that just a little more that way because I noticed that chicks like to dig. And so if I put it on the other side of the wall, hopefully they won't get to it. I'm gonna dig underneath it. But they still will. So I'm gonna try. There we go. So all I'm gonna do is just cover the whole floor with shavings. That side's ready. Hold on. Okay, so we have these poor little guys in here. And so now, put them in here. And these are Cornish cross. Little cutie patooties. And even at this age, they still have, yep. There you go, buddy. Yeah. Woo! This one's a little smaller. He might not be a rooster. Here you go, buddy. Yep. There you go. That's one thing I like to do. I found that it helps to keep the shavings out of the troughs, is just putting it on a piece of wood. And then same thing with the water here. Well, almost the same thing. I just put it on something. This isn't the most ideal size, but it works. So yeah, now all I need to do is get their light in here, and then we're done for today. So I think that's about all there is for building this brooder. I'm going to fill up the other half of this brooder just to have it for later, and then at some point later on I'm going to go ahead and build a cover to go on top of this with a screen so they can't fly out. They are the Cornish cross, and so, I mean, it'll be a little bit before they even try, but they do try, I promise you. I've had little birds pooping all over my living room when I had them in my house earlier, a while ago. So that's about all there is for this video today. We built the brooder with stuff that we had on hand. I didn't buy a single thing. I already obviously had the waters and the feeders and the thing. Everything else is just the stuff that I had already, and it's stuff that you can buy easily if you don't already have it, and it's probably pretty darn cheap. If you have there are lots of different ways that you can build a brooder. I mean, this is already my second video on building 2 different types of brooders. It's literally just building like a big wooden box and that's strong enough to hold them, and putting a top on it and enough support that you can hang like a light or something like that. That's really all there is to it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it inspired you, maybe gave you some ideas. If you have some ideas or things that maybe I'm overlooking, or you have an easier way to build a brooder, or any other tips or comments, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.